Hi guys, so this is Shannon here, and I'm going to give you a review on the movie 31. So you've got 5 basic principal characters, which is going to be Charlie, Roscoe, Venus, Panda, and Wally. I think that's his last name. His first name's Vernon. So you've got those characters. They're actually they're traveling across the country, and what happens, they get kidnapped by basically 3 rich white people who are going to take and put them through absolute hell, and they are betting during the process of this. Now, honestly, I'm gonna say I really hated this movie. I mean, it sucked so bad, and it's kind of, Rob Zombie has this problem of where he takes and he has this weird way of, okay, this is the checklist of what I've got to make sure that I'm gonna do in a movie, versus a usual horror director or somebody that doesn't take and doesn't try to walk between both worlds. So he takes and he does everything that, to me, I feel that you shouldn't really do in a horror movie, not if you want a successful horror movie, which is, okay, I'm going to take and I'm going to single out the person who's going to win at the end. Does that pretty much within about 20 minutes of the movie starting. I'm going to pretty much show you guys who's going to take and who's going to be the ending. Another one is where most movies, they have this joke, this ongoing joke of, oh, well, the black guy's going to die first. Well, not only does the black guy die first out of the group of people who are actually in this realm, it's actually the 2 black dudes die first. So it's kind of like, okay, double whammy. Alright, then you take and you're still going through, and it's kind of just like this basic, oh my god, you're doing everything that most people say that you shouldn't be doing in a horror movie. Okay, that makes sense. It totally makes sense. And it's like you kind of have these outlandish, villains who are pretty much the ones that are going after this group to kill this group. One of them is a little person that's dressed up like Hitler. Another one is 2 crazy psycho killer clowns, who are sex pervs. And then, the other group is pretty much called Death and Sex. And honestly, they're hilarious, but the sex character is played by E.G. Daily. So, there was some foreshadowing with her, but it is what it is. And then you have Doomhead. Now, Doomhead is played by Richard Brake, and if you really want me to go through the list of the actors in it, I'll go through the list. But Richard Brake, he's pretty much, to me, the only thing that's really salvageable out of this movie, because to me, how he portrays Deathhead, I really like how he portrays Doomhead. So I really like how he portrays it. I mean, he does pretty much this spot-on impression of, this crazed basic killer. But I mean, even some of the things that he does is really quite over the top, and it's kind of like, okay. And, you're watching a certain scene where I guess he's trying to pump himself up, and he's continually punching himself in the face. And all I could think during that part was, well, I guess half their job done, because now he's going to be concussed. Anyway, so to me, Rob Zombie does these huge blunders that are generally something that you shouldn't really do in a horror movie. And it's kind of like these obvious cop-outs to me, where it's kind of like, okay, you don't know where to take and go with the plot of your film, so let's throw this in. And I know that Rob Zombie has these legions of fans that are going to take and pretty much think he is God's gift to directing, and all he's pretty much got to do is shit in a shoebox and say, here's my next movie, and these people are going to be like, oh, that's so awesome. He's so original. And he's really not. I'm sorry. He's not. He's a bad director. And, he loves using the same legion of actors. And, I can get that, and I'm glad that they're getting paychecks, and I'm glad that they're getting somewhere. But it's kind of like, First, I feel that Malcolm McDowell is probably only in Rob Zombie's movies because he's trying to get a paycheck. And I'm kind of starting to think that maybe Meg Foster's on that. But it's like, one of the parts that really, really got me about this film, I mean, it didn't disturb me, it kind of pissed me off, okay, is this group of survivors, they get so far to surviving, and it was, you know, they get to a certain point, and one of the characters is locked in a room. So what do? Instead of taking and trying to go to the other end of the room and get out, they just stand there banging on the door, yelling, screaming. And, you know, then one of the bad guys comes up behind him, pulls out his little switchblades, and pretty much shanks him. Now, one moment in that scene did the person who managed to survive through these, I'm going to say, 3 waves of bad guys, did they bother going? They didn't bother looking over their shoulder. And Rob Zombie prided himself sitting there saying that, oh, the reason why the main character survived was because they reacted on their instincts. You reacted on your instincts. And that same person who survives, as soon as they take and they get out in the open and it looks like they're to the end and they look like they're gonna survive, you know, they get out in the open and then they just start going, help, help, just start screaming. And it's kind of, okay, well, I guess their instinct is stupidity, but they start doing that, and then it's like it's so much with this film that's suckage, and Rob Zombie has that problem with his films. He gets to a certain point, and it's like, okay, now if you just do this could be an awesome scene, and he doesn't do it. He's kind of just, you know, trying to do this shock and awe thing, and he's not successful with the shock and awe. Do you know what I mean? He kind of gives it all the way up front, and it's like, just a little tiny itsy bitsy tweak would have made this a fantastic movie. But it's like, because he needed several of those itsy bitsy little tweaks, this movie wind up becoming a suckfest for me. I mean, I can't really recommend that I would tell people to go spend their $10 to go waste their time on this. And that's if you don't get popcorn. But if you get popcorn, you're probably looking at about $20. So it's like, I can't recommend people to actually go see this, because it's that bad to me. But I know that, like I said, he's got his legions of followers that are going to turn around and say, you don't know what you're talking about. This film is awesome. But it was even, I go into a Rob Zombie film, and I'm trying to like him. And it's like, I've been a horror fanatic for years. And I go into his films, and I'm trying to like them. I'm trying. I've never had to try to like a horror movie. And it's like, usually it's kind of, well, you either like it or you don't like it. And it's not because of gore, because trust me, I've seen my fair share of gore, and I'm a goreaholic. I love gore, you know, gore's great. But it's like, he's hit or miss on the gore, you know, he's hit or miss on the gore. And it's kind of like what he messes up with his directing skills, where he can't direct these people. And I'm sorry, Sherry Moon, you were screwing up these films. You were seriously screwing up these films. So what happens? Because he's got his no-talent wife, who I'm going to say is beautiful, I will admit that. She's a very good-looking woman. But her wooden acting is screwing up your films. So then it's like you're overcompensating with these outlandish plots. Alright? And these outlandish plots are not saving your film. Alright? Because it's okay, well, let's see how much gore I can add in here. Alright, that's fine. I understand you want to make a gory movie. But don't add in gore to take and cover up the fact that you've got people that can't act. I mean, please, don't. Just don't. And, I mean, the ending was not an ending, okay? You know, and it's kind of, you got to a certain point, and then it's kind of like, okay, well, let's try to see how we can take and we can wipe this turd up. That's kind of how it was. All right, let's figure out how we can finish this. And it's like he just goes for all these very basic. He's kind of the basic bitch of horror movies, honestly. Kind of like the basic bitch. You know, you figure out how a basic bitch is during the autumn, where she's gonna go get her pumpkin spice, her Uggs, and, you know, talk about how much she loves coffee. This is kind of how Rob Zombie is about his films. And it's kind of like, okay, he's gonna have tits in it. He's gonna have some oversexed characters. He's gonna have hillbillies. You know, he's gonna have Sherry Moon. And it's like, that's kind of like his basic checklist of what he's going to make sure he has in these films. And it's kind of, you know, there are more actresses out there than besides Sherry Moon. There are better actresses out there than Sherry Moon. I get she's your wife. I get that she's beautiful. But please, for the love of God, put somebody in with a little bit of talent. I don't know if you're trying to go for these shitty B-rated films that are pretty much just kind of leaving you with this empty feeling of, what did I just watch? I mean, and it's not even the good what did I just watch. It's this puzzled of, what did I just watch and why did I just watch it? And it's not the intelligent one. Okay, because trust me, I've seen intelligent horror movies. I've seen these psychological thrillers that kind of blow your mind at the end. Now, his films are pretty much just, why did I just watch this? Because it's not, oh, they're so smart and they're so clever that you can't figure it out. It's kind of like he tries to be intelligent, but it falls really flat. And it's like, okay. And the thing I can't stand, it's like he grabs so many ideas from so many other movies, and he thinks that people aren't going to catch on and go, hey, he stole this scene from this movie, and he stole that scene from this movie, and he stole this scene from that movie. So he left it with a very open ending, and last time he left some movies opened, or some movies up with this open ending, he wound up having sequels, prequels, whatever. So it's kind of like, if he's going to take and he's going to make another 31 part 2, it wouldn't surprise me, but I really hope not. And for some reason, I just get the feeling Sherry Moon's going to somehow be in that one too. And, you know, I don't know. But anyhow, I really wouldn't suggest taking and wasting your money going to see this. I really, really wouldn't. And I just wouldn't. Okay? And I kind of gave you some of the reasons why. And I kind of gave you pretty much the only good part of this movie was probably Richard Brake as Doomshead. Okay? That's really kind of it. I mean, E.G. Daly was good, but she had like a smidgen of a part. So it's kind of, okay, I get it, but I don't think I want to get it. And it's like, going into this, I figured I was going to be wasting my time, and it was going to be another dead-end Rob Zombie film. And guess what it is? You have large groups of people. One side is pretty much people who, no matter what Rob Zombie puts out, they're going to say it's a great film. And then you've got the other people who are just like, no matter what Rob Zombie puts out, they're going to dislike it. And I go into these movies, and I'm just like, please just make a good film. Please. I mean, because there's so many people that will follow that movie blindly. And it's like, please make a good movie, bro. Make a good movie. But anyway, this is more of my actual view, and if I had to take it, if I had to give it a scoring out of, let's say, 5, I'm gonna have to take and go with maybe a 2.5. It has some entertaining moments, but other than that, to me, it feels like it really falls flat. It's not an intelligent movie. It is not a, I wonder what's going to happen movie. It's very predictable for me. I mean, pretty much from Jump Street, I already knew what was going to happen. And it's because he gets into this pattern of where it's going to be like, my wife's in this. I've got to take and do this with her. So you can figure that part out for yourself and you can figure what's going on. But to me, it was an extremely predictable film. I hope you enjoyed this review. I plan on doing some more reviews in the future and probably going to let you guys know how I feel about them, how you should watch them. It's probably going to be some reviews of some older films as well. So I hope that maybe you guys enjoy this and you will check me back out again. So I hope I didn't bore you too bad. This is really kind of my first review.